Welcome to Guttermouth Gridiron. This is the very first episode. I'm very glad that you're here. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope that you continue to tune in. This has been a dream of mine to do this. Mainly, I'll be covering the Washington Commanders. You'll hear me refer to them as the Redskins. Hope that doesn't offend anybody. I'm just a lifelong fan, and I can't help it. I've called them the Redskins my whole life. So please forgive me if I don't refer to them as the Commanders all the time. But I will try to throw Commanders in there for those who refer to them as Commanders and not Redskins anymore. On today's episode, we will be covering free agency. Some news broke out today. We're going to be covering some of that, and we're going to be doing some mock drafts. I'm going to try to do two different mock drafts, one with trades, one without trades. If we just stick and pick, I think Adam Peters will probably try to trade down and get some more picks. But when they get younger and faster, that's the goal, right? So it's nice to kind of see what it is from both ways. You know, you want to try to see what we can do if we do trade down, what guys are going to be available. I'm going to try to make this as fun as possible. I'm new to this, so please forgive me if, it seems like I don't really know what I'm doing here, because I kind of don't. So I'm just kind of going with the flow of things, man. But this has been a dream of mine, and this is going to be something that I take very seriously. And, it's going to start out just like this. I'm starting from the gutter. So it'll get better along the way. Things will improve. I'll get some different equipment. I don't have a place to really do this right now. So what you see is what you're going to get right now. And we're going to be building a podcast studio in due time. So just bear with me, and let's get this started. Let's have some fun. First up, we're going to be talking about Kyle Pitts. He's now off the market. Atlanta Falcons slapped the franchise tag on his ass today. So he is no longer available. I didn't see him really being signed here. I didn't think that Adam Peters would throw the money at him that he's projected to get. I feel like there's better options out there for it as far as talent and money goes. So I didn't really feel like he was going to be signed, but he is off the market now with that franchise tag. Next up, Andrew Wiley was signed today to a 2-year contract worth $7.5 million, up to $10.5 million with incentives. Smart move. I'm not against it. Wiley was a great backup, spot starter, whatever you want to call him. And he's great depth, veteran presence in the locker room. So I feel like that was a good move on our part. I'm not against that at all. He was on my list of re-signs. I'd like to see a couple more happen here, which it's still early. The year starts March 11th. Free agency is coming. We're not far. The combine started today. If you did not know that. So everybody arrived in Indianapolis today, mostly a media day. So workouts will begin this week at the combine, which is very exciting. But Wiley was on my list of re-signs, so I'm glad that we did that. Hopefully we get a couple more re-signed, maybe a Traylon Burke, maybe. I think that would be a guy in the slot that we could use in this offense. I think David Blau could bring out the best in him. But we'll see. But way to go, signing Wiley to at least a 2-year. Good pickup. Moving on into free agency, we're going to talk about the guys we'd like to see in the Burgundy and Gold. Who are we going to sign? What do we need? We need a tight end. Bobby Wagner's probably not coming back. You're going to need a linebacker. Need some safety help. Cornerbacks, obviously. Durante Jones bringing this new defense in.
So there's going to be some pieces of the puzzle that are already missing that we got to plug in. Free agency is a great way to do that. We have to hit home run in free agency and the draft to be better next year. We also need wide receiver and running back. So we will look at all of that. And we're going to start with tight end. Isaiah Likely is at the top of my list. I'd like to see him. I don't feel like he's going to demand a whole lot of money that is out of our reach. I believe we can afford to sign him. I would like to sign him to at least a 3-year deal. If you can't get Likely, Okonkwo, I believe his name is. Sorry if I butchered. From the Tennessee Titans, he is a free agent. I would like to see him if we cannot get Likely. Kate Otten is also available. That'll be another guy we can look at. Sticking with the offense, we'll go ahead and look at wide receiver. Who's available? Wan'Dale Robinson from the Giants, 25 years old. Again, we talked about getting younger. A lot of the guys on my list are below 30. So we're looking to get younger, and that's the goal. And I believe we could do that with no problem. We have plenty of cap space. There shouldn't be any real huge restrictions. I believe we will make splashes, see some fireworks out there. And I don't think that Adam Peters will be holding back. The Wan'Dale Robinson will definitely be on the target list. He could be a great number 2 for Terry McLaurin, as well as a great weapon for Jaden. If you can't get Robinson, on my list is Alec Pierce. As of today, he's still available. There has been no re-signing by the Colts with him. Now, after his little breakout year that he just had, he actually might be out of our price range. I've seen numbers from talking about $30 million a year. I don't really see us paying him that, so he might actually be out of our reach. Good news is there's others available that are still young. Tutu Atwell is available. He's young. I believe he's 26. And I think that you could get him for a very good price. He could be a decent number 2, I'd say. A number 3 wide receiver. So he's available. Rashid Shaheed is available, coming off that Super Bowl win with the Seattle Seahawks, but don't know how long he's going to be available. I don't know if Seattle will let him walk. They might try to get him to stay, but that all depends on the contract they're going to extend JSN with. They got to pay him. So he might be available. He may not be. But if he is available, I believe we could afford to sign him as well. Last on my list of wide receivers is Romeo Doubs from the Green Bay Packers. He is available. Young, I believe he's 26 as well. So that's another option you could go that probably won't cost you a whole lot of money. If you re-sign Treylon Burks, Debo is probably going to walk. That's okay. That's fine with me. But if you signed, Atwell and Dobbs, you could probably sign both of them, and you would have McLaurin, Burke, Dobbs, Atwell, Luke McCaffrey. So that's a good little wide receiver rotation right there. Moving on to running back. We got one running back signed. to the roster. His name's Bill, rookie last year. Did pretty good. Ripped off a few nice runs. Quick, man. Quick, twitchy. Sees the holes pretty well when they develop. Got great vision. But he needs help back there. He needs support. This is not going to be a one running back system. And I don't think in today's league, you can really lean on just one back. You got to kind of have a two back system. Think about Detroit, what they got, the two-headed running monster between Montgomery and Gibbs. Sonic and Knuckles. I love it. I want to see that here. Kenneth Walker is available. MVP. Super Bowl MVP on his resume now. Might command a little bit too much. But it's out of our range, I'd say. It's not the most outlandish idea. So that very well could be an option for us. If that's not an option, Breece Hall is available. I believe he would complement Bill very well. But the one name on my list of free agent running back sign is Shad White. That's somebody that I'd like to bring in. He's got a relationship with Daniels. They played in college. And I think White and Bill in the backfield, that could be a problem for defenses. David Blough's going to lean on the run when he has to, something that Cliff didn't seem to really do. We've seen it last year. Chris Rodriguez, brought us all the way down to the red zone. And once we got down there, we started throwing the ball. Missed out on a touchdown. We can't have that happen. I don't think Blough's going to let that happen. As a former quarterback, he knows that he has to lean on that run game. So we have to bring somebody in that will complement Bill. And I believe Rachaad White is the guy that you would want to bring in. As far as the rest of the offense goes, I feel like our O-line's pretty well formed. And I think the only thing we need to do is re-sign Chris Paul. Chris Paul played very well last year. I would not let him walk into free agency. I would go ahead and sign him. There's going to be some cap casualties happen in here. I think Alec Reddy might actually be a cut candidate, maybe even a trade candidate. We need pick, so maybe we can get something for him. If not, probably going to cut him, save him some money there. You're going to need somebody to fill that guard position. Don't let Chris Paul walk away. Chris Paul is going to be the guy you want. His performance last year, if he could duplicate that next year, then you have your guard locked up. Go ahead, sign him to a 3-year deal, lock him in. So as far as offense goes, we're done with that. I think we've covered the basis of what we need to do in free agency as far as the offense goes. We're going to move on to defense now. So defensively, we were absolute crap last year. We looked like shit. Absolute shit. We got a new defensive coordinator, Durante Jones. He has not committed to any type of what front he did. They asked him in his press conference, are you going to run a 3-4 or a 4-3? He said multiple fronts. So you're going to be running 3-4s. You're going to be running 4-3. You're going to be switching it up. You got to think about where he just came from. He was Brian Flores' right-hand man. Okay. His number 2. We couldn't get Brian Flores, ditch Viking to come to us. So we got his right-hand man, his number 2. So You got to think about that. Look at that Flores defense, what he does. He doesn't just stick to one thing. He kind of switches it up. He runs those multiple front, different blitz packages. So with that being said, moving on to the defense, we're going to go ahead and look at cornerbacks first. And first on my list is, and this is a name that a lot of people probably won't be too excited about, but Jeff Okudah. And the reason I'm saying Jeff Okudah is because he played in Minnesota last year. He has been through the Flores defense. He knows Durante Jones. He has a relationship with him. I feel like that will bring something that can be of value on the defense. Like I said, not the most exciting name. I know Jeff Okudah, first round pick by the Lions, and he fell. He rose, he fell. So that's one guy that you could sign, and it's not going to cost you a boatload of money. We need cornerbacks, point blank, period. So next on my list is Josh Jobe, I believe his name is. Hopefully I pronounced that right. All right, I did. Coming off the Super Bowl champions, Seattle Seahawks. Now, if they don't sign him before free agency, that's another guy I'd look at. Him playing in that Mike McDonald defense. I'd like to see him. I'd like to see him come on over. You got Trey Amos, you got Mikey Taylor still. Honestly, Mike, he needs to be on the outside. He plays better on the perimeter than he does at that nickel position. When we drafted him, that's what they wanted him to be, was in that nickel, what they call a star, on that defense. I don't think that's the case. I don't think that's where he belongs. I think he belongs on the outside. Amos, hopefully, has a better year than his rookie year, and he looked decent, but he dealt with some injuries as well. So, hopefully we can keep him on the field and see more of him. I'm hoping throughout this offseason that he's training and doing everything he needs to do to become better, and I think he is. So, with Amos, Sanders still, and Joe, where can you go wrong? And that's not saying that, we don't have to sign him. We could go into the draft, make trades, get some picks, and draft a cornerback to be that nickel that actually would, the nickel in college or something, or maybe they find a safety in there somewhere that can play that, but you're going to need a nickel guy, a good nickel guy. So, we'll see what they look at, what they plan. But that's another guy that that's on the target list. Josh Jobe came off Super Bowl champions. You got that on your resume. I'm not turning a blind eye to that. I'm gonna take that into consideration. Another cornerback you could look at is Cam Taylor-Britt. Not the flashiest of guys, I guess. I don't really consider him a huge name, but that's another guy that you could bring in. Fabian Morrow is another guy. He's early 30s, so he's a little bit older than I would like, but that's okay. The organization knows him. He started his career here, so I'm not against bringing him in either. And the last guy on the cornerback list is Rock Ya-Sin. Played with the Lions. He's another one I think he's 30. So not terrible, but he's not. I feel like there's something there. And I don't know. Maybe somebody picks the phone up, call him Dan Campbell. Hey man, give me some insight here. I'm thinking about this. Give me a little tea here. Why don't you build something? What's the deal with him? You know, what's he good at? What's he not good at? You know, does he fit? You know, can he fit? But that's another guy I would look at. Moving on to the linebacker position. Now, this is where you're going to get your firework, your splash. Okay. We need a do it all backer in this defense. You need a guy that can blitz and rush the passer. You need a guy that can defend the run. You need a guy that can cover and do it all. Quay Walker is available. Packers have not re-signed him. Don't think they're going to re-sign him. I think that they're going to let him walk, and I think Adam Peters jump at the opportunity to sign Quay Walker. Quay Walker will bring you everything that you need as far as that goes in that second tier of the defense. At second level, Quay Walker's going to run it. So I think that we need to pay the money, get that name on our team. That is my number one defense signing right there. If we miss out on Walker, Devin Lloyd is available from the Jacksonville Jaguars if they let him walk. Now, I don't know if they're going to. I think they'll end up re-signing him before free agency. But as of today, he is available. So if you miss out on Walker, Lloyd would be another guy that you want to look at to bring in. The next one is Nakobe Dean. I think that he's more of a middle linebacker. So I feel like when you're running that 3-4, that's where he's going to come in a lot more. So even if we run that 4-3, like I said, remember, we're going to be running multiple fronts, 3-4, 4-3. So you're going to need a guy that is going to be in the middle and do his job. I think Dean is going to be that guy, and I don't think he's going to cost a lot of money. You could probably sign Walker and Dean, or Lloyd and Dean. So that's something to keep an eye on and look at as well. But linebacker is definitely something we have to nail down. Safety is the next position we're going to look at. Reed Blankenship is available. Played for the Eagles. Young guy. I think he's like 27. That's somebody that you want to probably. We need help in that. The secondary is something that we really have to look at. And safety is going to be a big deal because Durante is going to run some packages where you're going to have 3 safeties on the field. It's not just going to be a 1 high, 2 high. You might have 1 high and you might have 1 out there in the slot and then 1 that's out there behind like a linebacker on a blitz package. So, we're going to need safeties. I don't know. I mean, Quan Martin probably going to end up being that guy who's on the blitz packages. He did that in college and he did it very well. I don't know why we didn't use him more in blitz packages last year, considering that we didn't have a pass rush worth a shit. We had absolutely shitty pass rush, and I'm not sure why we weren't blitzing Quan Martin, being that that's what he did in college. That's what he was good at. But outside of that, I mean, Will Harris, you're going to keep him. He's under contract, so he'll be there. Will Harris, Reed Blankenship, Quan Martin, that could work. Jaquan Brisker from the Bears is also available. That's another guy you could probably look at. Kobe Bryant is also available. So those are things you need to look at. The safety room needs some help, and I would not turn a blind eye to these guys that are available, all young, and especially Blankenship. I think Blankenship could come in for us and do some damage. I really do. All right, moving on into the trenches of the defense. We're looking at the D line. We're gonna need some. We're gonna need some tackles, man. We're gonna need some D tackles. I don't know what the plan is for Deron Payne at this point. I don't know if we're keeping him. Combine just started. Everybody's in Minneapolis. Now is the time where conversations happen. These GMs, they start to talk. You know, Adam Peters might be sitting there with, GM from the Saints or something. Hey, man, what do you want for Deron Payne? That's where those conversations start. So we might see Payne leave. Not this week, but, right. I want to keep an eye on that. Right around free agency. Keep an eye on that. Because he might be gone. But if he is here, I'm not against keeping him. I feel like if we got rid of him, it would free up some cap space for us. But other than him, I don't really know what you got. I mean, Johnny Newton, that's it. And even he is being questioned about his draft grade. He's being questioned. There's questions about his draft grade, and was he worth the second round pick? Did his fall from his projected first round into the second round, was that justified? So hopefully next year I'd like to see Johnny Newton absolutely explode and become something absolutely menacing. But as far as D-line goes, we need some guys. So one guy on my list is John Franklin Myers. Pretty good pass rusher, great run defender. I feel like that would be a great pickup for us. Wouldn't cost us a whole lot of money. And he could plug and play. I feel like he would make a difference on that line. I mean, one guy I forgot that is on our roster is Devon Kinlaw that we paid way too much money for. And I would like to see him probably moving up and down. I would, you could put him out there on it. You can. I watched it done last year. You can put him out there on the edge. You can put him in the middle. So, you bring in a guy like John Franklin Myers, and you got Kinlaw, Myers, and Newton, and then Dorrance Armstrong. That could be trouble. Another guy on my list was a familiar face, John Ridgway. I would like to see him come back. I was kind of sad to see him leave. I liked him. And I feel like you could get him for, a pretty decent price. I don't feel like he's going to demand a whole lot of money. Not going to eat up a bunch of cap space, so that could be a very good depth signing there. And last but not least on the defense, we're going to talk edge. Biggest need right now, pass rusher. Got to have somebody that runs the passer. Quarterback is the most important position in the league. What's the next one? The guy that rushes his ass. Okay? We need to fill that. So, one guy that is available is Jalen Phillips. Was traded from Miami to the Eagles last year. I don't really know if the Eagles are going to pay him. I'm sure they like to keep him, but I mean, and again, we're talking Howie Roseman. I mean, as much as, I hate the Eagles. They're in our division. They're our rival. But I give props where I give props where it's due, though. And one thing about the Eagles is they have a hell of a GM. Harry Roseman, hell of a GM, and if he wants to keep Jalen Phillips, he will figure out a way to crunch those numbers, get him in there, and give him a contract he'll sign. So, as of today, he is available. He is on my list, but would definitely be signing in. I feel like in Durante Jones defense, he could be one hell of an addition. If you miss out on Jalen Phillips, there's another guy, Boye Mafe, is available. I feel like he would be another piece in Durante Jones' defense that would shine. And that's the thing about Durante Jones is where he's coming from. I mean, I don't know the guy. I don't know exactly what he's thinking. I like him. I like Durante Jones from his press conference and what I've heard from him when he talks. I mean, I'd run through a brick wall for the guy. Okay, so I'm sure guys in the locker room probably feel the same way. And with him and this defense that I feel like what I'm envisioning is what we're going to see on Sunday is that, yeah, you're going to have somebody is going to be the sack leader. But I feel like the way it's going to operate is that somebody is going to create chances for everybody else, is that Durante is going to do these different blitz packages, and it's going to open up something for Luvu to get a sack. It's going to open up for Dorrance Armstrong to get a sack. It's going to open up alleyways for guys to get in there and get that quarterback rattled into the damn ground. So I think Boye Mafe, if you don't get Phillips, I think that Mafe would be your next bet. But we're also thinking, draft is coming also. Probably going to end up drafting a pass rusher, an edge guy, somewhere in that draft. So you're going to have to sign somebody free agency. You're going to have to sign somebody. You can't just have Dorrance Armstrong. You're going to have to sign somebody in free agency and draft somebody. So Phillips, Mafe, those are my top two guys for that position. And moving on to mock draft. Remember, I'm going to do two of these and do one without trades. We just stick and pick with what we got. 6 picks this year. That's all we're going to get. We don't do no trades. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stick with just that and pick. Then I'm going to do one with trades. Because like I said, we want to get younger. We want to get faster. We need younger guys. If I'm Adam Peters, I got the number 7 pick. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to trade it down if I can. Get me a second rounder that I don't have. 4th rounder that I don't have. Maybe another 5th rounder. Who knows? So I'm going to do 2 of them. So let's start. So this is the Pro Football Network mock draft simulator. I used the ESPN rankings. 7 rounds. We're going to go with David Bailey here. Okay. Remember, we're not trading. Go down to 71. As we wait, where we pick. 71. Bengals. I said no trade, but we're going to go ahead and trade that. Get a 4th rounder next year. We could go Nicholas Singleton if we wanted to, but I think we're going to go 8-day Halsey here. We need a safety. Be nice to bring in a young guy. We got a huge jump, 71 to 145. Only 2 picks in the top 100. So it's a huge jump. Harold Perkins Jr. is available. I think we'll Go ahead and take him. Be nice to have a young linebacker. Another guy with Jordan McGee. 186. Lewis Bond is available. I think we should go ahead and take him. Get another young wide receiver. Another weapon for Jayden. I think we're going to go corner here, man. Andre Fuller, most likely, is what I'm looking at. This draft's going to be heavy on defense. We're going to draft another wide receiver, probably. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at what we got, though. Any names jump off. Remember, this is ESPN ranking, so these rankings are going to be different. And each week I do this, I'll do a different one. You can see what I'm talking about. But thinking wide receiver. I think we're going to go another wide receiver. We need to get Jayden some weapons. And yeah, I think we'll go CJ Daniels off that Miami Hurricanes team. A little older, but I think that'd be a good fit. Okay, now for our mock draft with trades. We're going to have some fun here. We're going to do 7 rounds. We're going to do the ESPN rankings again. Each week I'll switch that up. There's 5 to choose from, as you see. I'll switch that up. Today we're going with ESPN rankings. Out of here. All right. What we got on the board? Doesn't matter because we're trading it. Carolina looks like our best bet. A first, a second, a third, and a second next year. Go ahead and take that. We could trade down again, get another third. But, let's go ahead and pick here. CJ Allen's jumping off the board to me right there at Georgia. Jake Parker's available too if you wanted to draft him that high. Like the lower first round, high second round. Okay. So I'm thinking Dylan Thieneman out of Oregon. Sorry if I butchered your name, buddy. You see we got 9 picks. We had 6. So 9 picks total. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and take Dylan out of Oregon. Could go edge here. But we do have another third where we still have a chance at an edge. I'm thinking Elijah Surratt here out of Indiana. I think that'd be a good weapon for Jayden. And Edge Slaughter, we will take him. Overton, we will take him at edge. Wanted to get another safe. Jen Smith would be a good one. But I'm thinking edge, and I'm thinking Gabe Jacobs out of Illinois. He's a player that's pretty good against the run and the edge very well. Yeah, after the quarterback as well. I'm thinking we're going to go running back here. We're going to go Darian Price out of Notre Dame. I think that even if you sign somebody in free agency, which I know we will, you could rotate him in. Him and Bill would probably eat it up really well. And that's what he did in college. He was support. 145, we're going to go with Bud Clark. Go ahead and get us another safety. I think with this defense, we're going to need him. And go 186. I can D-tackle here. Saw Rayshon Benny down there out of Michigan. And I wouldn't mind having some more depth there. Another young guy brought in now. So I think that's what we're going to go. Got price I got a Washington ranking, but I feel like it's a little high to pick him. So I think we're just we're gonna probably end up Rayshon Benny, the stronger the trenches guys. Gotta have it. Here. Owen Heineke's sticking out to me at Oklahoma. Scouts have had their eyes on him recently. Right there. And with that last pick, we're going to bring in Dominic Zabata out of Michigan. Hey, 7th round pick. If that kicker's there, I'm taking it. The way the guys are kicking here lately out of college, absolutely not. So,
all right, guys, that's going to wrap up our episode today. I'm so glad that I'm doing this right now. You have no idea how much of a dream this has been. And just getting this first video out of the way, getting some of them jitters out of the way and stuff. I really hope you guys enjoyed this, and I cannot wait to do another one. Please come back, like, subscribe, follow everything. I'm on Facebook, I'm on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Guttermouth Gridiron. Check it out, man. And I will see you guys the next time. Thanks.